she's a master, he's a master. You know, we like to put those labels on things. Mastery is a way of life.
Jocelyn, would you mind reading a poem from your new book? I know you have many different chapters and sections in it, but this one is Become a Master.
Becoming a master. Yes, I'm going to read you a little bit before it, so it sets up the poem a bit. You know, actors are always asking me, how do I become a master? What is a master? You know, so this is a bit of an answer to that. Forget comparing yourself to any master. Recognize that what you admire in that person is simply a reflection of those qualities already existent in you. Keep your eye on that ball. Therein lies the synchronicity. What you already know, you summoned into your life for you to know again, more profoundly. Be grateful for that synchronicity. Here's what I tell my students about becoming a master. Start. Keep going. You think you're starting to get the hang of it. Keep going. You admire someone else's work and go into doubt. Hell, I can't do that. Keep going. You feel like maybe, possibly, you kind of got the hang of it now. You don't. Keep going. You ask someone for an opinion. Their response is insultingly polite. Keep going. You fall into doubt. Keep going. You fall into depression. Keep going. You ask someone else's opinion and their response is favorable. You realize they have no idea what they're talking about. Keep going. You feel better and maybe even a little proud of what you can do now. Keep going. You chastise yourself for thinking that. Keep going. You indulge in some form of self-sabotage for comfort. Keep going. Self-loathing creeps in. Keep going. Depression visits. Again, keep going. You ask a professional for their opinion. They respond favorably. You think you know better. Keep going. You wake up sad. Keep going. Loneliness sets in. Keep going, although you can't possibly imagine why. You become restless. Keep going. You receive praise from the one person you believe matters most. It doesn't matter. Keep going. You just keep going because there's nothing else you can do. Mastery arrives, and you mistake it for a gust of wind. Keep going.
What events had led up to you writing this poem?
The poem. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, actors are seeking that. It's not mastery they're seeking. They're seeking, like, where is the end point where I know that I am glorious or I've won the wars or it's that, it is a reach for a satisfaction of ego, and they're saying it's a master. The master, I used to tell a thing in class about how, Seven Samurai is one of my favorite movies. And Toshiro Mifune, with his sword, he's sort of not a very good samurai, and he has a sword and he makes a big show and he's like slashing with this thing and this wall, and he's just silly. And the master comes along and he has his sword and he goes, and 5 flies fall to the ground. So mastery is really less. You're so confident you can do less and have the same impact. You're so confident you can do less and have a bigger impact. And what is that less but a stillness? Do you see how I'm going? It's less. You come from a place of stillness. So the master is really working within that gap the whole time. And if it's acting, he's working with less, but he's more entered. There's a painter I talked to on the phone yesterday. He's 85. He's a fantastic painter. His name is Julio Lorez, if you want to look up his beautiful work. And I was talking to him on the phone because we've been exchanging gifts. And I found out his daughter lived in Los Angeles. So I said, are you going to come to Los Angeles and visit your daughter? Because I want to see him. And he said, no, Yasi. I go, why? No? He goes, no, I'm painting. And I said, oh, well, I have a place in New York and your son lives in Brooklyn, right? Yeah. Do you go see your son for a visit? No, Yasi. Why, Julio? Josie, I have too many paintings. I can't paint all the paintings that I want to paint. I blew out your microphone, I'm sorry. But, you know, it just knocked me over. That's mastery. He's in it for the meditation. The painting is a meditation. When he's putting paint on a canvas, he is entering. He is entering the canvas. He's not in this world. He's not worried. He doesn't worry what people think about him because he's not coming to visit his daughter in California. If she wants to visit him, you come see me. I don't want to get on planes. I'm old and I'm painting. Same thing with his son. So mastery is really a state. It's not something to reach. I have achieved mastery. No, that's a desire for some super admiration. She's a master, he's a master. You know, we like to put those labels on things. Mastery is a way of life.
What is leaving behind a trail of breadcrumbs?
Oh, wow. You know, the cover of the book are these hands. And I'm surprised at how many people don't know what those hands are. Those hands are from the Cave of Hands. I can't say it in Spanish. I'd love to rattle it off. Clavos dos manos, something. But it's called the Cave of Hands, and it's in Patagonia. It's in Argentina, Patagonia. And those hands are 65,000 years old. They are the first expression of man. I am. I was here. I matter. You know, we had cave paintings, and those were the stories of the hunt. And the first actors were the guys who came back from the hunt and told the story around the campfire. And those cave paintings of animals and such are quite old, but they are storytelling. These hands are this impulse and this desire to express self. So they knocked me out. They really knocked me out. So a trail of breadcrumbs, you know, is from the poem that opens the book about what is an artist. And they leave behind a trail of breadcrumbs means they leave behind, hopefully, inspired work. That when we look at it's like a little path, this is inspired work. When an artist gives you inspired work, you know, just like he knew it, I say, oh, you know it in your heart, you know. When they leave that work and you see that work, you know it. You know that's inspired work. That same inspiration hits you. When you see the Michelangelo, you burst into tears. When you see the David by Michelangelo, you burst into tears because it's my God, that came from man. That's inspired. So those are the trail of breadcrumbs. This is the direction we're going in. Follow the inspiration to find out what man is capable of as a spiritual being.